Hello, this is Kurt Franken with Fiddler Studios, and in this video I want to just run you through a few things you can do to determine if your small business website is communicating to Google. Now obviously if you're a podiatrist's office, you don't want Google thinking you're a shoe store, right? That would not be helpful, and you would not be getting the traffic that you really want. So the reason I use a podiatrist's office as an example in this video is I was in Boise where we have a client who runs a podiatrist's office, and a lot of people will ask me from time to time, why is my competitor's website, which is old and ugly, outranking mine? And so there's a few things you can do to simply tell how well Google is understanding your website and whether you even have a chance of ranking. Now, one little side tip that I'll give you, that when you're Googling your name, I see a lot of people wanting to see how they rank on Google, and so they will do a Google search in the browser that they generally use. Now, if you do this and you're logged into Google, or if it's a Chrome, Google browser, Google is going to skew those results to your past history, and so it's not going to give you an authentic result to really tell how you're doing that. So I encourage you to either use an incognito view or just simply go to a different browser. Typically Internet Explorer is never used by somebody that uses the internet a lot. So you could go to Internet Explorer and Google there, and that way they would have no information on your history and what you've searched in the past. So with that said, I Googled foot fungus Boise here because that just seemed like a typical term. Maybe somebody with foot fungus in Boise, which would be a fantastic client for a podiatrist, is going to search. And this is what came up. Now, the second one is what caught my eye the most, and as we go to that one, we can see that it's not necessarily a new website. It's not horribly archaic either, but you can tell it hasn't been updated. And so there's a few things you can look at in order to determine how the site is performing. So what I'm going to do is copy the URL here, just the homepage URL, and I can go back to Google. And in Google, and you can do this with your site as well, I'm going to type in site : and then put the URL. Hit enter. And what this shows me is all the pages that Google has indexed from this website. So Google sends their robots to this website, they scanned it, and then they start putting that information on their servers. So this shows that there are 85 pages that Google has indexed on this page. And this is going to be very telling. If you have a very basic business website and there's hundreds of thousands of pages, or just too many than you think should be there, then that's a good indication that something's wrong with your website and should be reviewed by your web developer. Now, you can also just scroll down here and think, this is interesting. What sort of page do they have? Here's an uncategorized page, and so you can go there and see what it looks like and see what's on there. And if there's really nothing on there, so it looks like there's a bunch of blog posts here, but they're uncategorized, so that would probably be something to categorize, because that way you're helping Google understand the content of your page. So anyways, this website looks pretty straightforward, but as you scroll down here, there might be a name or title that really catches you off guard and makes you wonder, what on earth is that? So you can go there, and if it's a page that's just irrelevant, then have your web guy take it off and remove it. Okay, so this is one area you can do to say, okay, Google at least understands that this website's here, so that may be one reason that they are ranking. The next step you can do is each Google result has a link underneath it, and there's this little arrow. You can go to cached version, and you'll see when you go to the cached version, it's going to look very much like the home page, but there's this bar at the top. Okay, now the thing is it doesn't matter how pretty your website is or how many cool pictures you have of putting green or golf shoes, doctor smiling with his bright white teeth, whatever it is, it really doesn't matter what it looks like, because Google's robots cannot see the website. They can only read the website. So I'm going to click on text-only version to really get an indication of what Google's seeing when they come to your website. So there's some chunks of content here, not bad. I've seen a lot of websites who have quite a bit of content on the visual page, but when you go to the text-only version, suddenly there's like a dozen words on it, and so it's not helping Google at all as far as what content's there. Okay, now going back, let's go back to the main page. So I'm just going to go to the home page, and this is a trick to determine to see how your competitors are building up their website and what tags they're putting in there, because websites are built of data. Okay? Now, if you're using Chrome, you can hit simply Control-U, or you can, on most browsers, you can right-click anywhere on the page and go to View Page Source. This will show you all the data that makes up a website. Okay, now there's specific indicators on a website that Google is going to give more weight to and look at first. Way back in the day, it was maybe meta keywords, so people would stuff keywords here. Not that that's totally a waste of your time to do, but here's where to start. I usually hit Control F, and then on here I'm going to look for title. Okay, and because I'm looking for the title tag, and the tag is going to be it's going to have title sandwiching a phrase here. So this is the title tag: Boise Podiatrist, Idaho Foot and Ankle Associates in Boise, Idaho. Okay, so this is one clear indicator to Google that, yeah, it's a podiatrist office. It's not a shoe store. Next we're going to look at is the heading tags. So the H1 tag, which generally should only have one H1 tag on a page. And right here it says Idaho Foot and Ankle Associates. Okay, maybe this needs to be, you're telling Google this is the theme of the page. Okay, and so maybe you need to be a little more specific on what people would type in to Google, and that should match what's in these heading tags. The next heading tag is the H2 heading tag, and there's generally more than one H2 tag on a page. This one says gold standard foot and ankle care. Okay, interesting. Go to the next heading tags and just see what's here. This says contact us, which is kind of a waste of a tag because it's very generic, means nothing to Google. Next is welcome. I see this a lot with some, especially with H1 tags. You're just telling Google welcome or about or a very simple phrase when it should be a much more dynamic phrase or keyword, something that people are actually going to type into Google to get a result and find your page. I encourage you to check out fiddlerstudios.com. I give more information on this topic on our blog. If you come to fiddlerstudios.com/blog, haven't posted it yet, but nonetheless, it'll be here for you to read, and you can learn more tips and tricks like this to help your small business website.